welcome to the Whiskey Lover Society of me, Glencada. And today we are finishing up the series on the Glencadam. I will link a description to all of the previous videos with regards to the series. We started off with the Glencadam 10-year-old. We then looked at the Glencadam 15-year-old. We finished off with the Glencadam 21. And today we are just going to do a quick comparison between the three of them. And then I will also compare it with the 25-year-old. So to make it a little bit faster, I took some notes of my videos. So we will start off with the 10-year-old. I only have a little bit left. So I'm going to just start off with the 10-year-old and give you the quick nosing notes so that you don't have to go through all of the videos to find it. So on the 10-year-old, the color quite light for, of course, for a 10-year-old from the ex-bourbon cars. So if I look at my, that is nice. If I look at the nosing notes, I have the alcohol, which is quite toned down for me. But if you stick your nose in, it's there. I have the floral notes, a little perfumey. I have fresh pears, banana salad, red apple, toffee apple, a little bit of a homemade marmalade, homemade lemonade on the nose. And then on the taste, I just can't help myself because it's really nice. So on the taste, sweet, the alcohol hotness, a little bit of a tannins here coming out on the third or second sip. I have also a little bit of a fresh pears. Apple sweetness is now disappearing a little bit, and you have a little bit of a pepper note on the third sip, and a little tannins appearing after that. So nothing dark, nothing quite bitter, quite pleasant. On the finish, a little bit of vanilla, some oak, toffee, dark caramel, and a little bit of a dark chocolate coming through. So that was my review with a score of 86. From there on, we went on to the 15-year-old. And for the 15-year-old, the alcohol was there, but it toned the alcohol a little bit higher for me, but not much higher. And a little bit lower when we get to the 21-year-old, for me anyway. So the red apples, homemade apple juice for me, that was something that stood out. The gooseberries, that came to me a little bit later on, a little bit of a gooseberry note. I had also the perfume, intense aromas that you get, and quite nice. So you also get a little bit of apple pie and a little bit of a cinnamon, and a creamy toffee note, something like Amarula or Bailey's, that creaminess that came out very nice. On the taste, we had the sweetness, dry cider like a Savannah in South Africa or Strongbow here in Europe. So that's something that I picked up, and the oakiness also started to increase in the 15-year-old. So, but that's something that what you'd expect being in a cask for such a long period of time. So it's a little bit more oak, a little bit of more of the espresso notes coming through. So in the finish, it's medium, a little dryness in the mouth, with a little oaky left, and then you also have a little bit of a sweetness still left in your mouth. And the score, I'm going to not tell you the score, go have a look, but you'll be surprised in the end. I do like it. It's definitely on the list of things that I will be buying in the future as well. And when we looked at the 21-year-old, and that is the last video that I made on this, and with the 21-year-old, the alcohol, let me get the right one here. So, and when we get to the 21-year-old, and for the 21-year-old, and they were all bottled at 46% ABV, they were all natural color, all non-chill filtered, all coming from ex-bourbon casks. So from the nose, this is really nice for me as well. Well, all three of them were really nice. I enjoyed all of them, and they all had the subtle differences between them. So the notes that I really got is the red apple. I got the ripe peaches, going into a little bit of an apricot, like a mixture between the two. Quite a lot of fruity interaction between the fruits. A little bit of a caramel, a little bit of a butterscotch, and all these things were dialed up. So some of them I did get in the previous ones, but it's like all these ones are being dialed up more intense in the 21-year-old. Doesn't always mean it's a good thing. Vanilla ice cream with a caramel twist. I also got a little bit of a cinnamon, a little bit of a raisin note in it, but not overly sweet in the taste. The alcohol a little bit on the hot side for me anyway, but not unpleasant. But it's still bottled at 46% ABV, and of course in the a little bit of a honey note, raisins, sweet, and a little bit more oak, going into the dark espresso, black coffee, maybe a little bit of a Turkish coffee. And at the finish, I've got the sweet caramel, butterscotch, sour note, and a little bit of a yeasty note as well. So that is my notes on the three. And of course I need to translate everything as a winner for me. But before I do that, I'm just going to give a quick look at the Glencadam 25. And this is a generous sample that I received from the whiskey trials. That was about December of last year. And I have been drinking responsibly on this one because it is quite a nice one. So if I look at this, the 25-year-old Glencadam, also bottled at 46% ABV, and it is non-chill filtered, and it is uncolored. So this one, oh, it is really nice. It is like taking all this three whiskies that I just reviewed, and I took all the nice elements of them and I put it in a bottle. So really nice for me. So apples, it's like walking through an apple orchard. The peaches are there, the dried fruits, a little bit of a raisin notes, a little bit of a cinnamon, vanilla. Yeah. Have a look at my video. I will also put a link up here so that you can have a look. And here the alcohol is still 46. The alcohol feels a little bit toned down for me. And all the notes that I got from the previous ones, and a little bit more sweetness. So it's like the alcohol moving away, and then the sweetness is left, the more caramel notes coming out. Yeah, okay. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't think it is a real comparison. bringing a 25-year-old and comparing it with a 10-year-old. And I know a lot of people are screaming at me now and saying, a stupid comparison. But it is just a little bit of a reminder that we have such a huge range of whiskies out there. And it's nice to find something that I can relate to, something that I love to drink. And if I look at just the 3 whiskies, and for me, I was thinking in the end it's going to be a bad comparison, and of course the 21-year-old will be winning. I am not so sure anymore. After doing the comparison, it's the 21-year-old. I'm not sure where it's going to fit in the score. But if I look at the 10-year-old, and let me just quickly pour the 15 as well. If the 15 and then the 10, the 10 for me is a little bit more floral, and I get such a nice aromas coming out. And if I compare that with the 15, a little bit more intense. It's difficult, but I think we have a winner. And for me, put that one down. For me, I love the 10-year-old. It is so nice. It's so nice on the nose. It's so nice on the taste. It's so nice on the aftertaste. I really, really enjoy it. And you can hear my dog snoring away. So trying to keep her awake is not so easy in the evening. So yeah, with that, surprise, surprise, I do like the 10-year-old. And for me, this is the winner of the series. And that's one that I'm definitely going to buy. I'm going to recommend it to everybody. Buy it. Take it. It's cheap. It is fantastic. It's a whiskey for beginners. It's a whiskey that you can say, have you ever tried whiskey? Have a look at this whiskey. Taste it. Really, really nice. Enjoy it. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I see you next time. Cheers.